Well, welcome back to the channel, guys. We're talking about geopolitics and the war, the latest war of 2026. As you know, so far we've had, like, according to the U.S., we have 3 soldiers killed, and I kind of doubt that. Iran has been bombing bases all over the region, American bases or U.S. bases. They're not in war with the other countries, by the way. They're in war with the United States and Israel. They know who the enemy is, and they've been bombing quite a bit. A lot of these bases have been. We don't know the casualties, the real casualties, because the information seems to be filtered, just like in the old Soviet days, where you would not get information of what's really happening behind basically the front lines. So he was the leader of the Shiites, and they kill him. And they think the news organizations claim that the CIA followed a guy into some hiding place and they bombed him and killed him, right? No, he went to his house, to a home where everybody knows where he lived, to be with his family. And he probably knew that he was going to be a target. So he was old in age, probably ill in health, and he admitted it that he was very weak. And he probably knew that he wasn't going to be around much longer. So he decided to go to his house. And the other side, the Central Israeli Agency and the U.S. and Israel claimed that they followed the fellow and they killed him that way. But no, it wasn't that way. He wanted to become a martyr, and a martyr he became. Okay. On the other side, the U.S. and Israel never thought about the consequences of killing Khomeini and the way that they're going to do it. They're using terror in order to change things around their way. However, our brand, or because I live here, our brand of terrorism doesn't work that way very well all the time, like it works perhaps in the Middle East. So they were using terror to terrorize the Iranian people and having revolutions on the streets, and a lot of people went out in the streets, but they weren't supportive of Iran and Khomeini and so forth. They were not out there to, like Trump says, probably in the press they're gonna talk about Trump wanting to have people topple Iran. If they topple Iran, then the U.S. and Israel have another puppet state that they can take over. So it didn't work out that way. And then Iran decides to go all out. They start using all their the bombs, their old bombs, and they start incinerating Israel, and not just Israel, but the bases. By the way, a lot of people don't know is these bases are leased to the United States, and we pay a lot of money for these bases to keep soldiers and people there, basically to protect Israel, not to protect our interests, but to protect Israel and the oil flow, of course. However, the Strait of Hormuz has been, you can't go through it because Iran controls it, and it's not wise to go there now because bombs can reach any ship. So that's blocked off, and the geniuses in this Pentagon or the CIA probably never thought that this was going to happen in this manner. And at the moment, Israel is just getting pounded, and these are the old weapons that Iran has. They said that they're going to use first their older weapons, their inefficient weapons, and they're gonna bring out the big missiles. According to some fellow that I saw on the internet, one of the leaders in the military said that eventually they're going to keep bombing away, and they're not interested in negotiations. They're not interested in talks because, well, you can't talk to the United States because they're going to lie. So what they're going to probably do is take over the Gaza area and have it evacuated from all the people living there now that they're begun to construct houses for Israeli people. They're being told to evacuate because they're going to bomb that. And it's nice of them to at least tell you, hey, we're going to bomb you, bomb your house, so get out before, if you want to live. And that's the fuse that the United States and Israel lit. And now they can't put it back in. It's going to be all the way to the point that everybody, Gaza and perhaps Palestine, and I would say that this is pretty much like, where's Netanyahu, by the way? Reports said that he's in Germany someplace, out of all the places, right? Out of all places, he goes to hide in Germany. Well, this is happening back home. Of course, true sign of a true coward, Where's Trump? Trump goes to Florida to live in his house with all his takes this Air Force One 747. How much fuel used up just to carry this fat ass from one place to another every weekend? The media doesn't show you that, the expense of a private jet, of a 747 with chefs and all kinds of people, while the boys are dying over there in the other side of the world. This fat ass is hauling himself in a luxury jet because it's very luxurious inside, carrying all these. I think last night he was the only one on that airplane. I don't think the press was with him, but what a terrific waste of money. If it was me, I would use like a DC-9, perhaps a Gulfstream 6 or 7, perhaps. Something small, just to get from here to there. A Learjet is good. A lot more cheaper, more efficient, and so forth. And I can have that money from Air Force One. Just go stay with the people, instead of taxing them to death. No, he's gonna have a 747 all by himself, like no big deal, and amazing. What's gonna happen to some of these people? Once they die, oh my God, they're in it for good. So anyways, Trump gets off the airplane. Takes no questions from anyone, even though people were, hey, Mr. Trump, this and that. What are you going to do about the killing, or what are you going to do about this or that? He just keeps walking without saying a word. He goes into the helicopter. Okay, comes down from the helicopter. Takes no one. Usually, the big mouth is, it's always talking to the press. But I think he's getting the reports that are not very good coming out of Iran. Abraham Lincoln, the aircraft carrier, supposedly Iran said that they launched 4 missiles on the Abraham Lincoln. This is one of the nuclear-powered aircraft carriers. Supposedly, I heard someplace someone said, and I don't know where I heard that. Don't quote me on this, guys. By the way, I'm just kind of giving you a briefing of what's taking place. I heard that Abraham Lincoln was moving away from the area. So moving away, being towed away, sinking slowly. We don't know. We have no. And Iran doesn't have any reconnaissance other than China perhaps providing satellite imagery. Or we probably would have something. All hypocrisy of Trump, of course. U.S. bases in other countries destroyed. Like I said, the United States leases bases, areas, land from other countries in the Middle East. And that's what's being destroyed. Not that the other countries are being destroyed. Perhaps some buildings where they house the CIA agents or the offices of the CIA or some kind of a United States operation or probably Israeli operation, because that's where the enemy is. And they're doing a very, I hate to say this, but Iran is doing a very good surgical operation and not targeting schools with children and little girls in them. U.S. F-15s also down. How did it happen? Like I say, our equipment is it's not that good, guys. There was a $1 billion facility destroyed. Radar installation. IRCG leader not negotiating. Trump says they are. No, they're not. If anything, the U.S. supposedly, by way of Italy, they're asking for Iran to talk with them, and Iran doesn't want to talk with the United States. Supposedly, yeah, Iran will probably sweep Gaza and take it over. And like I said, Israel is probably. I think Israel is no more. After this, what remains? Maybe a new government may be instilled. And like I said, Khomeini was not a fan of nuclear weapons, and the Iran was complying with all the requirements of the charters, UN charters, and so forth for the proliferation of nuclear weapons, which I've said, many times on this channel that nuclear weapons don't exist. They're just things made up by Warner Brown and Einstein back then. There's always one in every group. There's always one in there. I don't know why, but there is. I'm just saying, not everyone is like that. There's good people all over in every race, but there's always someone. Okay. So Khomeini becomes a martyr. He becomes a martyr. Now you have the newer fellow. It's the new Khomeini. He wants nuclear weapons. So did the U.S. think about what they're going to do, what's going to happen afterwards? No, they were just going out like the typical muggers, typical terrorists, just bombing something without thinking without the repercussions, what's going to happen afterwards, who's advising Trump? That's a good question. It's like, who is advising Trump these days? You have a bunch of no-brainers there. Hexeth, Rubio, and Vance, and all those people are. And I don't know if you ever talked to the generals in the armed forces, but just looking at the look on their faces, they were very concerned about something. I don't know if they already knew something was going to happen, and without really knowing, without perhaps Trump meeting with them to get the information on how to get this going. and the whole thing is like Netanyahu throws the match in the hay. It's Trump to try to put out the fire somehow, and Trump continues with his arrogance. You gotta come to us, and you gotta get rid of everything, and you gotta come and agree with us and come down on your and come on. These people are not going to do what they're different. It's Iran, Iraq, a lot of these countries, they're not. They've been warriors for a long time. A lot of these people have they've been fighting each other for a long time. So has Europe. I mean, so has Europe, and so have we for 200 years. Every a war every 10 years, one war every 10 years. But Trump. He forgot about Venezuela already, and then he wanted to start something else with Cuba. He said, complete loose cannon. The guy should be arrested, imprisoned. The same thing with, but they never are. These presidents, they get away with it. They have their billions, and somehow they get away with everything. By the way, Epstein. Okay, let's not forget about that. Just like the $3 trillion that was missing from the Pentagon when Rumsfeld announced that back in 2001, the day before September 11th. So he announces on September 10th that, the Pentagon is missing $3 trillion, and I don't know where the money went. The Pentagon never gets audited. Governments never get audited, guys. Do you know that? Once they take the money in, it's spent. They don't know what, how, where, what program, how the money is spent. They don't know. They just spend it. Nobody knows how. Nobody is able to audit like the Pentagon. Where is all that money going to? Trillions of dollars, And then we get something like September 11th, of course. I was just looking at the cryptocurrency. It's pretty green. So I think we got everything's pretty green. We got something going here with cryptocurrency and gold. This is about 2 hours after I did my first video. It's still holding pretty much. If anything, silver has gone down, and gold is just a little bit up. And this being on Monday, 11 o'clock. Clock is up there. That's what I'm looking at. I gotta. It's not that I'm looking at UFOs. So that's what's going on in the world, guys. I don't know. What can I say? If you like the content, I got a little link down below. Buy me a coffee. If you like what I do, give me a like. If you don't like it, tell me why and don't like it. It's okay. I'm a big boy. If this works out and you guys like this, just do, like I say, do a like, and maybe I'll just keep doing this more. It's pretty interesting, and I give you the truth. I like the truth. Not like this bozo. I voted for him. I'm sorry. I apologize to the world. I was so freaking. My sister voted for him too. We are so freaking sorry that we did. But then again, who was the alternative? That dickhead woman, Kamala Harris, the Joker. Imagine having her. Stupid bitch. Women should not be in politics, guys. Sorry, but they shouldn't. Women should not be in politics. Women should not be in the military. That's how you lose wars. You put a woman in there, and she'll up. They do great. They can be great at the nursing and perhaps being doctors or stuff like that. They're great for that if that's what they want to do. If they really want to do that, but they're great for other stuff, but not for politics and not for war. Certainly, And certainly Trump is not really a man. You're not really a man if you like to, bomb like Netanyahu. You have to have just. You have to be just, or else it's going to come back to you. By the way, nobody's heard from Netanyahu. Whatever happened to him? Okay, guys. By the way, I see a little bit more of content being checked by YouTube. They're flagging content down a little bit from news. I noticed that I was getting a lot of feed from the war and so forth, and all of a sudden I get other stuff coming up instead of what I want to see. And so we have a bit of like the Soviet days. This is the Soviet days, just that it's here in the United States. Catch you on the next one, guys.